Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi explains role of urf in distinguishing tayyib from khabith. Aid group says that Afghans expelled from Pakistan lack basics once they cross the border. Shia Rights Watch releases its October report documenting top anti-Shia attacks. Scientists reveal mystery behind mass grave of children killed by arrows in Spain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3. The daily scholarly meetings of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi was held on Sunday the 20th of Rabi' al-Thani. In this session, like the previous meetings, the Marja answered the questions of the attendees about various jurisprudential issues. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi cited verse 5 of Surah Al-Ma'idah that all is tayyib and pure and of virtues has become halal for you, and said in this noble verse, Allah the Almighty has made all that is tayyib halal for mankind, but has not defined or given their names. Therefore, everything that is tayyib and clean according to urf, custom or knowledge of the faithful community is halal unless it has been excluded by the law of the Sharia. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi went on to say that if there are authentic hadiths, they can be used in addition to urf to determine what is tayyib and what is khabith. Let's watch the statements of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi together.
فقط أنا شخص واحد شفيت في الفقهاء ببالي بس هو هذا المرحوم النراقي الابن ملا أحمد النراقي، عنده كتاب فقهي مستند الشيعة. هناك يقول الخبائث الشرعية مو الخبائث العرفية، وبعض الأمثلة المو مناسبة هم يجي، فإلا المشهور بين الفقهاء الخبائث يعني ما استخبثته النفس، نفس الإنسان إلا ما استثني، والطيبات نفس الشيء إلا ما استثني، مثل سائر الموضوعات. فقط أنا شخص واحد شفيت في الفقهاء ببالي بس هو هذا المرحوم النراقي الابن ملا أحمد النراقي، عنده كتاب فقهي مستند الشيعة. هناك يقول الخبائث الشرعية مو الخبائث العرفية، وبعض الأمثلة المو مناسبة هم يجي، فإلا المشهور بين الفقهاء الخبائث يعني ما استخبثته النفس، نفس الإنسان إلا ما استثني، والطيبات نفس الشيء إلا ما استثني، مثل سائر الموضوعات.
Afghans fleeing Pakistan to avoid arrest and deportation are sleeping in the open without proper shelter, food, drinking, water and toilets once they cross the border into their homelands, aid agencies have warned. More details.
Hundreds of thousands of Afghans have left Pakistan in recent weeks as authorities pursue foreigners they say are in the country illegally, going door to door to check migrants' documentation. Pakistan set October 31st as a deadline to leave the country, or else they'll be arrested as part of a new anti-migrant crackdown. Afghans left Pakistan from two main border crossings, Torkham and Chaman. The Taliban have set up camps on the other side for people to stay in while they wait to be moved to their place of origin in Afghanistan. Aid agencies say Turkham has no proper shelter and there is limited access to drinking water, no heating source other than open fires, no lighting, and no toilets. There is open defecation and poor hygiene. UN agencies and aid groups are setting up facilities with thousands of people entering Afghanistan every day. People enter Afghanistan with just the clothes on their backs because their watches, jewelry, and cash were taken at the Pakistani border, said an official from World Vision International. According to Save the Children, many of those returning are coming back without education documents, making it difficult for them to continue their learning, as well as lacking the local Afghan languages of Dari and Pashto because they studied Urdu and English in Pakistan. The organization warns that child labor in Afghanistan, as well as their involvement in smuggling, are likely to increase due to poverty, as most returning families were among the poorest migrants in Pakistan. Afghanistan is overwhelmed by challenges, compounded by the isolation of the Taliban-led government by the international community. Years of drought, a beleaguered economy, and the aftermath of decades of war have led to the internal displacement of millions of Afghans. Concerns have risen among the humanitarian community about the impoverished country being unable to support or integrate those currently forced to leave Pakistan. This is Ali Al-Hadi reporting for Shia Waves.
Joining with us live from Frankfurt, Sultan Ali Javed, the political expert. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, dear brother Sultan Ali Javed. Hopefully you're doing well. What practical measures can be taken by the international community to help the expelled Afghans?
It's a difficulty.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Salam to you.
No worries. I mean, to be honest, what are the practical measures that can be taken by the international community to help the expelled Afghans? I just believe we have some technical issues here. Just give us a moment, please.
Close the video. Yes.
We will join with you later, hopefully. On to the next story. Shia Rights Watch released its monthly report for October 2023, documenting top human rights violations against individuals and Shia Muslim communities in several countries around the world. The report covered Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq, and highlighted the most prominent human rights violations committed against Shia Muslims from October the 1st of 2023 to November the 1st of 2023. In Afghanistan, the report documented the ongoing plight of the Shia Hazaras, including deliberate killings, suppression of religious freedoms, and the erasure of the identity of an entire people. The report also noted that the terrorist bombing of a sports hall in the Afghan capital, Kabul, which killed 7 people and injured 20 others. In Pakistan, Shia Rights Watch documented the killing and injury of dozens of Shias in the city of Quram by attacks carried out by unknown armed persons, killing 30 and injuring 50 of the city's residents. In Saudi Arabia, the security authorities arrested the Imam of Imam al-Kadhim Mosque in the town of Safwa, Sayyid Hamza Sada, after raiding his home, tampering its contents, as his fate remains unknown, according to the report. Let us remind our respective views of today's headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi explains role of Uruf in distinguishing Tayyib from Khabith. Afghans expelled from Pakistan lack basics once they cross the border. Shia Rights Watch releases its October report documenting top anti-Shia attacks. Also tonight, record numbers of African refugees arrive in Canary Islands by boat. Archaeologists have revealed the mystery of a mysterious mass grave in Spain containing hundreds of bodies, including children from the injuries from arrows. It was initially believed that the hundreds of skeletons discovered in Spain in 1991 were the result of a single grave after a massive battle. Archaeologists now say they have found new evidence of ancient warfare that they described as complex. The bodies were described as being in strange and intertwined positions with each other, and weapons were also discovered, including flint and arrowheads and blades, as well as personal jewelry among the dead. The researchers say it is likely that these people were killed in separate battles over a longer period of time. And now continue with some short news. The Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources announced on Saturday that the ancient Al-Husseiniya River regulator in the holy city of Karbala was added to the World Heritage List. The ministry said in a statement that on a distinguished Iraqi day at the ICID conference currently held in the Indian city of Visakhapatnam, the ministry has succeeded in adding the ancient Al-Husseiniya River regulator in the holy province of Karbala in the World Heritage List. More than 20 people were killed on Sunday after shells hit a market in the suburb of the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. The shells hit the market in Doum during an intense exchange of fire between the forces of Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his former deputy Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the Rapid Support Forces RCF. UN spokesperson said 7 peacemakers traveling in a convoy were injured in an attack on Friday following an attack on Wednesday that injured 8. In both attacks, the peacekeepers' vehicles hit improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Friday's explosion marked the 4th such incident involving an IED since the convoy's departure from the UN base in Kidal on Tuesday. The European Union Commission released a statement yesterday in response to a recent spike in anti-Semitism as well as hate speech and hate crimes against Muslims fueled by escalation of the war in Gaza. The statement emphasized that Jews, Muslims and Christians should not live in fear of discrimination or violence because of their religion or their identity. It should be noted that cases of anti-Semitism and hate-driven attacks on Muslims and their holy places of worship have increased in Europe recently. An earthquake of magnitude 6.1 struck Indonesia's Timor Island, causing panic and light damages to several buildings and houses, including the governor's and mayor's offices. Video circulating on social media showed residents in Kupang panicking as houses and buildings swayed just after dawn. Indonesia is a seismically active archipelago of 270 million people that is frequently struck by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions and tsunamis because of its location on the arc of volcanoes and fault lines in the Pacific Basin, known as the Ring of Fire. Nearly 32,000 migrants have reached Spain's Canary Islands on fragile boats from West Africa this year, passing a previous record posted in 2006. Since Friday, 739 people have been rescued in the Atlantic Ocean. Spanish government has initiated transfers of many migrants to mainland Spain as the Canary Islands have been overwhelmed by the influx, according to Spain's Interior Ministry. Most of the arrivals are from sub-Saharan Africa, in particular Senegal. The Norwegian Refugee Council has called for the inclusion of the issue of more than 3 million displaced people in Yemen in the next peace talks and the finding of permanent solutions for these numbers. The Council warned that the Yemen and humanitarian partners still have a long way to go to find real lasting alternatives for those who have been forced to flee their country after the government confirmed the return of their more than 1 million displaced people to their homes. The Norwegian Refugee Council confirmed that the decline in the intensity of the fighting has led to a decline in the number of civilian casualties and that there is growing international support for political negotiations for peace, but it is said that the road is still long ahead to find real and lasting alternatives for millions of people who have been forced to flee their original areas. The Iraqi people have celebrated the 103rd anniversary of the 1920 revolution, a major uprising against the British colonization of Iraq. The revolution was led by the late Grand Ayatollah, Sheikh Mohammed Taqi Shirazi, who issued a fatwa calling for the overthrow of the British colonialism. In speeches and interviews carried out by Shia Waves agency, Iraqis praised the revolution as a turning point in their country's history, as it was launched from Imam Hussein's holy shrine. They said that the revolution helped to liberate Iraq from British rule and paved the way for the formation of a modern-day Iraqi state. They also called on the government to commemorate the revolution and to honor the sacrifices of the Iraqis in the revolution of 1920. Revolution was a major event in Iraq's history as it stands as a reminder of the Iraqi people's determination to fight for their independence. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of today's headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi explains the role of Uruf in distinguishing Tayyib from Khabith. Aid groups, Afghans expelled from Pakistan lack basics once they cross the border. Shia Rights Watch releases October report documenting top anti-Shia attacks. Scientists reveal mystery behind mass grave of children killed by arrows in Spain. Record numbers of African refugees arrive in Canary Islands by boat. Norwegian Refugee Council calls for addressing crisis of over 3 million Yemenis in next peace talks. Iraqis celebrate 103rd anniversary of the 1920 revolution, honouring its leader Imam Sheikh Shirazi. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves' website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on a news agency. Contact us at the numbers at the bottom of the screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the last of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Universe. I am a wondrous thread